Hello, my name is Brad Spinner. I'm here to review case study 2.19 out of our textbook, Hayden versus University of Notre Dame. The plaintiffs in the case were William and Letitia Hayden. They are appealing the previous ruling that the University of Notre Dame did not owe Letitia a duty to protect her from a third party. The Haydens brought a suit against Notre Dame for failing to exercise care to protect Letitia. The defendants then, of course, would then be the University of Notre Dame, and they claim that they're not responsible for a third party's action, and therefore they do not owe a duty to protect the guests at the football game. They are also arguing that these acts by these third parties were not foreseeable and therefore not preventable. The details surrounding the case, the Haydens, William and Letitia, attended a football game on September 16, 1995, and were seated directly behind the goalposts. One team attempted to kick a field goal or an extra point. The ball that is supposed, or the net, I'm sorry, that was supposed to catch the ball after the kick, did not, and the ball missed the net and ended up in the stands. Fans scrambled to find the ball and to get the ball, and in the process, Letitia was knocked to the ground and sustained an injury to her shoulder. Now, the legal issues that are surrounding this case, the Haydens filed their lawsuit for negligence against the University of Notre Dame. But to prove negligence, there's three main elements that have to be established before negligence can be claimed. First, the defendant, in this case Notre Dame, had owed a duty to protect the plaintiff, Letitia. That's the first thing that has to be established. The second thing that has to be established is that the defendant, Notre Dame, had failed to uphold their duty to protect the plaintiff, Letitia. And then finally, the plaintiff, Letitia, sustained her injury because the defendant, in this case Notre Dame, failed to uphold their duty to protect her. The only issue that must be proven in this case is that Notre Dame owed the Haydens a duty to protect them under these circumstances and at the game. The defendants claim that the university could not foresee the actions of a third party, the criminal actions of a third party, and therefore owed no duty to protect Hayden because they didn't know that they needed to. Notre Dame also agreed that Haydens were guests of the university, but they denied that they were able to anticipate the fans' actions around the Haydens at the game. The plaintiff's claim was rooted in a ruling that had been ruled on in 1999. It was Delta Tau Delta versus Johnson, which states that the court should look at the totality of the circumstances when determining Notre Dame's duty to protect the Haydens. The totality of circumstances includes examining the number, nature, and location of prior similar incidences. Both Letitia and William had witnessed on several occasions while at football games a ball that was kicked missing the net and landing in the stands. And on each of those occasions, they claimed that there was a rush to retrieve the ball by surrounding fans. They had also witnessed other injuries by other spectators during those melees that occurred around the kicked ball. And they themselves had also been a part of being bumped and knocked around. William, the husband, claimed that about 50% of all the kicked balls had missed the net and ended up in the stands, and every time it did, there was a resulting scramble for the potential souvenir. After listening to all of these, both sides of the argument, the court's decision was to rule in favor of the Haydens, agreeing that the University of Notre Dame owed a duty to protect their guests under these circumstances. And the reason was because Notre Dame had plenty of evidence showing fans scrambling for a ball that had missed the net. And they should have known under those previous incidences and plenty of evidence to back up what happens when a ball does enter the stands, that there is a scramble, there is a melee, and there is a possibility for injury. And the court stated that because they had that evidence, then they were therefore charged with the duty to protect their guests. And the court ruled in favor of the Haydens, which overturned a previous ruling from a lower court. This court ruling has implications for athletic administrators today, because it means that it becomes the athletic director's responsibility to be able to foresee and anticipate any potential dangers that could lead to negligence lawsuits. How do you do that? You're going to have to research. ADs are going to have to research and collaborate with other athletic directors to discuss cases where negligence was found, and they're going to have to do that continuously, because new cases will pop up all the time, and they have to be on top of those and be prepared to prevent those cases from occurring in their own schools. They also need to be diligent in overseeing the prevention of these potential hazards, and making sure that those preventions are in place and are properly applied. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.